One of the most popular trends in corporate management is to use icons to indicate how a company's performance compares to its goals. If you set up your workbook as a dashboard that summarizes performance, you can use indicators such as the familiar red, yellow, and green stoplight images to indicate unacceptable, acceptable, and excellent results. In Excel, this group of indicators is called an icon set. In this movie, I will demonstrate how to apply icon set conditional formats to a pivot table. My sample file is icon sets 0505, and you can find it in the Chapter 5 folder of the exercise files collection. This workbook contains a worksheet with a pivot table, and on it I have limited my data to just the wind harvesters that our sample company sells. Let's say that I have guidelines that indicate whether a specific level of sales is not acceptable, is good, or is great. To create an icon set based on those rules, I can click any cell in the values area for this particular field. In this case, I have clicked cell B5. Then on the Home tab of the ribbon, I'll click the Conditional Formatting button, and I will point to Icon Sets, and I can select any of the icon sets that are available. In this case, I will go with the stoplights that have a dark edge around them. So I'll click the 3 traffic lights rimmed icon set, and it's been applied to the cell that I selected. I can change how the rule is applied by clicking the Formatting Options button next to cell B5. If I click the second option, all cells showing sum of quantity, then that includes the subtotal for the category, and I don't want that. Instead, clicking the Formatting Options button again, I want all cells showing sum of quantity values for SKU, or stock keeping unit. That will keep my analysis at the right level, and you can see that I have a set of green, red, and yellow indicators. Of course, Excel just created that rule on its own, so now I want to edit it. To do that, I will select any cell, again in the values area, that has the format applied. Click the Conditional Formatting button on the Home tab, and click Manage Rules. I'll click the rule that I want to edit, and I will click Edit Rule. When I do, I get the Edit Formatting Rule dialog box. And I note that B5 is the cell I have selected, but also below that, I have the option for showing sum of quantity values for SKU is selected as well. I have my format style, which is icon sets, and the icon style is the one that I selected before. What I want to focus on here for now is how Excel determines which icon to display. You can see here that it displays a green indicator when the value is greater than or equal to 67%. So if I drag the Edit Formatting dialog box to the right, you can see that 92 is substantially higher than all of the other values. And in this case, that means that only the value in B5 gets a green indicator. If you wanted to have green for perhaps, say, the top 50%, then you can edit that in the value field. So I'll type 50 and click OK. And then I'll click Apply, and you see that we have 3 green. I'll drag the dialog box to the right. We have 3 green and 4 red. But even so, that's still not quite right. So I will click the rule again and click Edit Rule. Now let's say that I want to, instead of using percentages, I want to have specific values. To do that, I can go to the Type control for the top level, and then click the Type Controls down arrow, and in this case, I'll click Number. Now let's say that I want to have anything green where we have sales of more than 60. So in the value field, I'll type 60, and then I will change the type of the second rule for yellow from percent to number, like I did before, and we'll make that 39, and anything below that will be red. So I'll click OK, click Apply, and you see we have 3 green, 3 yellow, and only 1 red. That was unacceptable. I'll click the rule again and click Edit Rule to show a few more points. If you have a field where smaller numbers are better, for example, an error rate or error count, then you can reverse the icon order. And what that does is it will have green for smaller values, yellow for the middle, and red for the largest counts. Also, if you want to only show the icon and not the value, you can select the Show Icon Only checkbox, click OK, click Apply, and the numbers disappear, but the icons remain. And I'll click OK to close the Rules Manager. Icon sets can provide useful information about large data sets, but they really come into their own when you use them to summarize a relatively small amount of data, such as on a dashboard.